The match I think everyone was talking about was Ospreay Omega. That led to a lot of debates online. I'm not trying to have a debate. I will say I was blown away with the match. You had a chance to see it. What did you think?
Always when I'm asked this, we talk about creative being subjective.
Yes.
And we talk about, I don't want to be repetitive, or I don't want to say jump on any one bandwagon, because at the end of the day, it has to suit your personal taste of the style of wrestling. But I thought those two gentlemen, in a lot of ways, gosh, because you can compare it to so many different kind of rivalries through the years, that there's no doubt in my mind Kenny and Will have no problem knocking the hell out of each other. I just, very physical, do not mind. And I don't want to say potato, because that I was kind of taught, oh, potato is kind of an accident, or maybe some live rounds.
Strong style.
Yeah. But I just think at the end of the day, those guys, and I try to articulate this, but you're so much better at it, Conrad, when you kind of sum it up. But I feel watching that match, and again, this ain't inside baseball. I don't have any personal knowledge of this. I watched this just like a fan. I drove home from anyway, when I watched it, I was by myself, and the competitive nature that I believe those two gentlemen bring out in each other,
yes,
is the magic ingredient. And not
what it's all about.
Not every person, me or any other wrestler that you work with, that doesn't just always happen. Sometimes you just have different priorities, different agenda. Sometimes it's just the nature of the beach. This is a TV match. You've got 4.5, 6.5, 8.5. You just got a limited time frame. There's so many different factors that go into making up the recipe. But it's pretty obvious that as far as a time limit, they kind of got to paint their own canvas. Other than very few things, those two guys got in there. And I think from the very moment that back in Japan, I'm assuming that's where they had their very first match, but there is a competitive nature that shines through to me all over the screen, all over the arena. The kick out on one, yes, great timing and storytelling, but I just think so much more goes into those kind of deals, that the audience was so emotionally connected to their story that it just tore the roof off. So I can give it all the accolades and praise, and this was good and that was good, or the chatter about this particular move, not safe, unsafe, was it safe? This we could talk forever about the subjectivity of it, but the thing that I want to compliment the most is I truly believe the essence of our business is competing against one another, and that was to me, one of the best examples I've seen in a long time. Two guys that wanted to go out and show each other up. That's simple.
Who brought out the best in you in your career over the years?
God, for different reasons. I gotta say, with everything that was going on in remove the personal side of it, but in my professional life, at that stage of Kurt Angle, when look, here I am still wrestling week to week now, but I had, we signed Kurt, and, you can, as we talked through the podcast, for lack of a better word, I'd been a heavy force as far as in-ring talent from 2002 when we launched up till about 2006-ish, 7-ish, and I went away, and Kurt was there day in and day out. So I'll say this, in my mind, my best days of in-ring competition were pretty much in my rearview mirror. I never said I've retired or nothing like that. But in 2010, when me and Kurt had our series of matches, there was a competitive nature, because who doesn't want to compete with a Olympic gold medalist or whatever you want to say? But just Kurt, Shawn Michaels in the 90s, every time, I don't care if it was a single or a tag or if I was tagging, whatever, Shawn, I love to push myself. I think his athleticism is just right up there. And then in a kind of a unique way, Lawler. When I was working with Lawler, I wanted to, his psychology is so good. Less is more. Just a absolute master at the subtleties and the small things that you do in a match. And, you know, we did that 60 through a couple of times in Tennessee. We had some matches in Memphis beyond that. So those three, I feel, are guys that I wanted to compete and really, really achieve. I'm sure I'm missing a few here and there, but those three off the top of my mind.